Bernice Plumtree moved through the halls of Willow Creek Academy like a quiet breeze, present yet almost imperceptible. Barely 4'11", she was a wisp of a girl, her delicate frame swallowed by oversized sweaters, a knitted hat struggling to contain a tumble of fiery red curls. Her round glasses, always slipping down her nose, gave her the air of someone far more studious than she let on. She clung to the straps of her faded satchel as though it were a lifeline, navigating the social wilderness of high school with practiced invisibility. What no one at Willow Creek knew was that, for the past 7 years, every Wednesday and Friday evening, Bernice vanished across town to Madame Evangeline's dojo. There she was not the timid girl who stammered when called upon in class. She was Sandan rank in Aikido, capable of disarming opponents twice her size. Her mother had enrolled her after neighborhood boys once stole her lunch money, and though she had mastered techniques that could leave professional fighters in awe, Bernice had sworn never to use them unless her life was in genuine danger. Willow Creek Academy, spread across 20 ivy-clad acres in rural Vermont, prided itself on academic prestige, debate championships, and Ivy League acceptances. But beneath its polished veneer, it harbored dark corners, the abandoned greenhouse behind the science hall where bullies could torment victims unseen, and the disused music room where cruelty echoed without witnesses. Bernice had transferred there 2 years ago when her mother accepted a job at the local university. She'd hoped for a fresh start, but by the end of her first week, she'd already become a target. Maybe it was her stutter, her solitary lunches sketching mythical creatures, or the way she seemed least likely to fight back. Whatever the reason, the predators had found her. At the top of Willow Creek's social pyramid was Chadwick Chad Thistlewick, 6'2", handsome, charming, and the darling of faculty. Captain of the lacrosse team and student body president, his smile hid a calculating cruelty. Always flanking him were his enforcers, Reggie Perkins, a rugby brute who delighted in physical humiliation, and Alistair Finch, whose razor-edged words could cut deeper than any shove. Bernice's ordeal began freshman year, the day she spilled cranberry juice on Chad while rushing to art history. Her art supplies scattered across the floor. Chad ground his muddy boot into her sketchbook, smirking. "Watch it, short stack." Alistair joked about her needing a seeing-eye dog, while Reggie knocked her pencil case down the hall. It lasted less than a minute, but set a precedent that would define 2 years of torment. The harassment began subtly, shoves into lockers, snide comments about her thrift store clothes, accidentally knocking her food to the floor. Always minor enough to pass as accidents if a teacher asked. Bernice endured it in silence, convinced that retaliation would only make things worse, and bound by her promise to her mother never to misuse her training. But over time, their attacks escalated. They timed humiliations for crowded hallways and busy lunchrooms. The greenhouse became their private arena for verbal abuse. Bernice adapted, taking alternate routes, mastering the art of timing, building a mental fortress. Her academic performance soared, masking the fact that school had become a daily battlefield. Everything shifted one crisp October afternoon. Penny Hawthorne, a new student, confident, charismatic, effortlessly stylish, had invited Bernice to work on a history project. Penny had defended her once before, unafraid to speak against Alistair's cruelty. That day on her way to the library, Bernice was intercepted by Chad and his friends. They taunted her about Penny, hinting they might warn the new girl about her. For the first time, Bernice felt fear not for herself, but for someone else. Penny soon appeared, smiling, unaware of the trap. The boys turned their mockery on her, snatching her glasses and playing keep away. The hallway filled with students, some laughing, most pretending not to see. And then something inside Bernice shifted. For years, she had told herself that restraint was the higher path, but in that moment, she realized her silence hadn't been noble. It had been permission. Permission for them to sharpen their cruelty on her before turning it on others. Her voice, steady and commanding, cut through the jeers. "Give her the glasses back." The bullies laughed until Bernice stepped forward, her stance subtle but deliberate. "Or I'll take them." What followed lasted seconds. Bernice moved with a precision born of years of practice, seizing Alistair's wrist, reclaiming the glasses and returning them to Penny. In the stunned silence that followed, the balance of power shifted. 2 days later, Chad confronted her in the parking lot. Surrounded by onlookers chanting for a fight, Bernice challenged him to a fair one-on-one. What happened next was no brawl. It was a lesson. She evaded, redirected, struck with efficiency. Chad, frustrated and flailing, grew winded while she remained calm. When he hurled a rock, she closed in, executed a sweeping throw, and left him on the asphalt, defeated. She didn't finish him. Instead, she stepped back. It's over. A week later, Chad approached her, not with arrogance, but apology. He admitted to cruelty without excuse, acknowledging her restraint as the moment that changed him. Bernice accepted, with the caveat that his change had to extend to everyone he had ever bullied. As she left with Penny, Bernice realized she felt something unexpected: pity for him. Because to find power only in making others feel small was its own prison. And as they walked away from Willow Creek that day, Bernice understood something profound. Standing up for yourself doesn't make you a bully, so long as you extend a hand, instead of keeping someone down. Sometimes all it takes to shatter years of fear is the choice to say, no, it stops now. And sometimes that choice gives others the courage to do the same, sending ripples of strength far beyond your own fight.